Welcome to the paper Normative Principles. General Normative Principles. General normative principles have proved to be highly useful and provided a scientific basis in the field of cataloging. Ranganathan calls 5 laws of library science, 4 general laws applicable to any situation, and 2 principles which throw light on the need for local catalog, the codes and direct libraries to be recognized and recatalogued at a minimum cost by the terms general normative principles. The framers of the catalog, codes and catalogers have been making use of these normative principles to a varying extent. Ranganathan's theory of library catalog, published in 1938, described the normative principles, which included the 5 laws of library science, 6 canons of cataloging and law of parsimony. The 5th edition of Classified Catalog Code, that is otherwise called CCC, published in 1964, contains 8 canons of cataloging, 5 laws of library science, 4 basic laws and 2 principles. In the December 1969 issue of Library Science, with a slant to documentation, 2 principles and 1 canon of recall value have been further added. The normative principles can serve as the basis of a catalog code, providing guidelines to the designer of a catalog code. As such, rules in a code should be formulated by its designer, keeping in view the spirit of these principles. Critical study of a given code can be carried out with the help of these principles. The principles also can be helpful for the purpose of comparing rules of different codes. The interpretation of the rules of the code can be done on scientific basis with their assistance. Principles can provide guidance to a cataloger in a day-to-day work of cataloging. General normative principles consist of the following: 5 laws of library science, laws of interpretation, law of impartiality, law of parsimony, law of symmetry, then principle of local variation and principle of osmosis. Laws of library science. These are specific normative principles which are applicable to any problem in the fields of library science, library practice and library services. These laws are fundamental laws of library science. The canons of cataloging are the implication of the 5 laws. These canons are specific to the fields of cataloging and in case of a conflict between the canons, an appeal is made to the 5 laws of library science to resolve the conflict. The 5 laws serve as the higher court. If there is a conflict between the canons of cataloging and general normative principles, then a compromise can be achieved with the aid of the laws of library science. These 5 laws provide general principles from which all library practices could be deduced. Ranganathan says the 5 laws of library science contains in little practically everything which is found more elaborately elucidated in all the succeeding books of the family. These laws contain considerable philosophical discussion about library activities. Actually, 5 laws are the guiding norms. They are the unified principles applicable everything in the library world. Ranganathan's 5 laws have found universal acceptance as pentagon of library philosophy. The laws are: books are for use. Every reader has got his or her book. every book its reader, save the time of the reader, and finally, library is a growing organism. And we take the first one, books are for use. In ancient times, books were preserved rather than used. The advent of the first law implied that books are free to all and facilitate free lending services. The modern librarian is happy only when his users make his shelves constantly empty. To maximize the use of books of the libraries, some factors like location and working hours of the library, library buildings and furniture, and also the attitude of the library staffs towards users are to be considered. And the second one, every reader has got his or her book. This law implies that requirements of the readers are varied to provide every reader his book. Provisions of introduction of new collections of the library is desirable. It also supports the concept education for all. To implement the second law successfully, a library legislation should be enacted in every state, and it could provide adequate financial support to the library system, and efficient staff should be appointed, and readers should be aware of the rules and regulations of the library by user education program. The third one, every book its reader. F. W. Lancaster reported that the chances of every book to find its reader, even in a well organized and well serviced library, are not 100%. To get every book its reader, the library should adopt an open access system. To give to the reader to access shelves and use classified arrangement of shelves and provide exhaustive cataloging. Introduce reference and extension services, and also introduce new departments like newspaper room, serial sections, old collections, etc. The book selection procedure is also important, because the selection of books depends on the type, taste and requirement of the users who frequently visit the library. And the fourth one, save the time of the reader. To save the time of the reader, the right book should be provided in right time with minimum effort. This includes two types of time factor, subjective time and objective time. Subjective time is the time that we feel we have spent in the library searching for the book. Objective time is the time that we actually spent. This law suggests that subjective loss is more painful than its objective loss. To save time of its reader, the library should use open access system, classified arrangement of shelves and catalogs, introduce reference service and modern charging system, etc. The fifth one, library is a growing organism. Library as an institution has all the attributes of a growing organism. The growth of the library is evident in the growth of the book stock, the staff, the readers and the physical plan. Thus, the library must keep the provision of extension of its stock room, adequate space in the reading room, and should increase the staff strength with time. The fifth law recognizes that the growth will undoubtedly occur and it must be planned systematically. Laws of interpretation. Ranganathan refers to 1008 principles of interpretation listed in the Nyaya Kosha. A catalog code is like a legal document. Therefore, it should be interpreted like a legal text. Some of the areas where laws of interpretation are applicable are the following. If there is a conflict between different rules, then the conflict should be resolved with the aid of the laws of interpretation. Second one, if a new kind of cataloging problem comes up, then a solution should be obtained by means of proper interpretation of the rules of the court, keeping in view the laws of interpretation. Third one, the conflict between the law of parsimony, laws of library science and the canons of cataloguing should be solved by the aid of laws of interpretation. In such an eventuality, we should follow the principle, the latter the law, the greater its weightage. It has also been suggested by Ranganathan that the catalogue should be scrutinized from the angle of these laws of interpretation. The third one is law of impartiality. It directs that between two or more claimants, the preference should be made only on sufficient grounds and not arbitrarily. The examples are, in case of a joint authorship, the law recommends that all the authors of the document should have an equal right of being chosen as a heading. In case of multiple series, the law directs that all series should get equal right for being given as a series. Thus, there should be as many book index entries for series as there are series. As a corollary, there should be as many book index entries for series as there are series. Law of parsimony. This law directs that between two or more possible alternative rules bearing on a particular phenomenon, the one leading to overall economy of manpower, material, money and time should be considered together with proper weightage. Comments. According to CCC, the practice of the canon sought heading in choosing headings for class index entries leads to economy. This satisfies the law of parsimony. Application of the canon of sort headings to cross reference index entries reduces the number of entries. Thus, it leads to the satisfaction of this law. Owing to the application of canon of sort headings to book index entries, the number of those actually prepared is very much reduced. Certain types of series have long names and may include hundreds of publications. In such cases, one can replace a whole series of cards by single card indicating to consult the printed list of the concerned series. In special libraries serving the needs of researchers, series index entries may have a special value, but in certain types of libraries it is possible to reduce the number of entries. Thus, the reduction in the number of entries to follow the principle of local variation would lead to economy. The same is true about cross reference entries. Notes are provided on the different entries on selective basis owing to certain considerations leading to the satisfaction of the law of parsimony. According to AACR 1 and AACR 2, from added entries including analytical entries and references are prepared on selective basis, keeping in view whether or not the user might reasonably seek the work under that heading. The heading may be the heading of a main entry or added entry or referred heading in a reference. In AACR 2, 3 levels of descriptions have been provided. The court suggests that the choice of a level of the description on the purpose of the catalogue or catalogues for which the entry is constructed. This gives plenty of scope to a cataloger to reduce elements of description to a possible minimum in the given circumstances. Law of parsimony would recommend unit card system for printed cards. In this system, a copy of the main entry card itself would be used as any specific added entry card by merely inserting in the leading section the heading of the added entry. In case the card entry is handwritten or typed, then in each added entry this information should be brief. This is called the multiple card system. Law of symmetry. This law prescribes that of the two entities or situations which admit of being regarded as symmetrical counterparts of each other, if one of the entities or the situations is given weight in any particular context, the other entity or situation should also be given a corresponding weight. Comments. In case of a book by joint authors, the heading of the main entry would have names of both authors in the sequence, in which this occur on the title page. A book index entry would be prepared under the two authors in the same sequence, but due to the law of symmetry, another book index entry using the name of the two authors in reverse sequence would have to be prepared. In this, the law of symmetry is supported by the canon of sort heading, principle of local variation. The principle recognizes a hierarchy of 4 codes: International Catalogue Code, National Catalogue Code, Linguistic Catalogue Code and Local Catalogue Code. This principle prescribes that a catalogue code of higher level should mark out the factors to be left to the care of the code of next level. The catalogue code at each level should be consistent without any mutual contradictions. Each lower link in the hierarchy should be a supplement to all the upper links taken together. Comments. There is a need to have a hierarchy of codes. Each code has a limitation of its own, and when a code is not competent to lay specific rules, it should lay broad principles for the guidance of further codes. Due to the fact that a library catalogue is a medium of communication for the clientele of a library, local variation, local terminology and local dialect should be introduced into consideration. There is need for a linguistic code. The punctuation system of each language varies. Each linguistic code can look after this. The International Catalogue Code should deal with the style of writing or printing only in general terms of dominance, subordination and the like. The actual method of implementing these prescriptions can be started only in a national catalogue code or linguistic catalogue code. Similarly, the arrangement of the word entries would be better taken care of by a linguistic code. The rendering of personal names varies from culture to culture. Only a national code can lay down the rules for rendering of the names belonging to that particular country. An international code can put down broad guidelines only. Headings in some other cases will be proper nouns which require transliteration. The rules for transliteration should be included in linguistic codes. The preparation of subject analytical is a matter of local variation. Similarly, the cataloguing of material of temporary interest is a matter of local decision. The number of entries to be prepared and amount of information to be given will depend on the local code. AACR 1 prefers the English form of a geographic name. If one general form is used, as the rules of AACR 1 are biased in favor of the English speaking world, if the name appears in different languages, preference should be given to the official language, and if the country has more than one official language, preference should be given to English language source. AACR 1 is used all over the world, but when there are certain cases where it is not suited, it is seen as a violation of the above principle. AACR 2, the next one, it recognizes the fact that uniform legislation for all types and sizes of catalogues is neither possible nor it is desirable, and it encourages the application of individual judgment based on specific local knowledge. Thus, this code has made provision for some rules designated as alternative rules or as optional additions, and some other rules or parts of the rules are introduced by the word optionally. Principle of osmosis. The principle says that owing to the canon of context, a change in the catalog code or the scheme of classification becomes essential than from a particular date the following work should be carried out. Catalog and classify all newly accessed material according to the new code and scheme. Recatalog and reclassify the old collection which is known to be in use. Recatalog and reclassify on return by readers any book taken out by the reader from the old collections. Maintain two catalogs, the old and new catalog, and two sequences on shelf. Comments. If the library decides to recatalog and reclassify its whole collections, then most of the cases the cost will be enormous. As the cost of recataloging and reclassification is very high, most of the libraries tend to avoid it. Ranganathan suggested that recataloging and reclassification should be done only when it is essential. He recommended the above procedures at the time of recataloging and reclassifying the documents of libraries, which not only reduces the cost, but also does not affect the services of the library and also satisfies canon of context and the law of parsimony. In the initial stage, extra staff and extra work would require, but as the services of the library are not hampered, the users will find it more convenient and helpful. The success of the application of the principle of osmosis would certainly depend upon the effectiveness of the management. If the method is not implemented properly, it will lead to confusion and affect the services. That is a main drawback. If it needs to be effective, it should be implemented with great care and proper planning. Summary. In this unit, we have tried to explain the general normative principles formulated by Ranganathan, and it has proved to be highly useful, and it also provides a scientific basis in the field of cataloging. Ranganathan states the 5 laws of library science, 4 general laws that are applicable to any situation, and these are termed as general normative principles. The normative principles actually provide guidelines to the designer of a catalog code and also interpret the rules of the code. In his classified catalog code, Ranganathan narrates all these general normative principles. It helps the cataloger in choice of headings, preparation of index entries, preference of different items in the headings, maintaining symmetry between the headings, necessity of recataloging and reclassification to maximize the use of the books and to satisfy every reader of the library. Assignment. Make a project about the interpretation of different laws of CCC from its 6th edition. The second one, discuss the necessary arrangements that should be taken by the library to fulfill the 5 laws of library science. Third assignment, briefly explain the treatment of the principle of local variation in CCC, AACR 1 and AACR 2. Fourth one, briefly explain the treatment of law of parsimony in CCC, AACR 1 and AACR 2. Fifth one, discuss how laws of interpretation is helpful to the cataloger. References. Prolegomena to Library Classification by Ranganathan SR, Asia Publishing from Bombay, published in 1967. Library and Information Society by Bhuvaneshwar Chakravarti, published by the World Press. Here we conclude this session. We will discuss another session later. Until then, bye.